What up? It's Jacob, aka Jesus, and you have found WYBNOO, or What You've Been Nerding Out On. This is episode 2 of season 1. You are here with me and a cool guest. Uh, it's WYBNOO. We nerd out about topics, and of course, this person right here is really into this topic. His name is Frankfurter. And
I
you
thought you were going to say is really just a fucking nerd. So
yeah, well, we all are, right? That's kind of the whole point.
Sure.
We're all nerding out on other things and sometimes the topic. But today the topic is anime. Of course, Frankfurter, you are here, so I have to start with the titular first question: Who are you? Where do you come from? And what do you do?
Oh no. Okay, sorry. Everything froze for a second. I was like, "Oh no."
Not on my
Who
end.
am I? What do I do? And where do I come from? Who am I? I am just a guy. I'm generic white man with a beard and glasses. One or credit two. Sure, we'll put you there. I'm just a guy on the internet. I exist in places. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. What do I do? I watch too much anime. I watch way too much anime, and that is why I'm here. But I do enjoy other hobbies. I do read a lot of manga, which also kind of ties into this, and we'll talk about that later. And then I do enjoy my sports. I'm a huge sports fan. I'm actually currently have hockey up on another screen right now, watching the Dallas Stars and the Edmonton Oilers play Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. But went
Nice.
to Auburn, so I'm a huge college football fan, unfortunately. And then
Unfortunately.
somehow, yeah, and then somehow also unfortunately, am a Minnesota Vikings fan. So it's just like, yeah, that's great.
Yikes.
But back to the on topic of anime and why I'm here. I'm here to talk about anime. I've got just shows that I would generally just like I'm enjoying this season. I would like to talk about. I do have some gripes with the community and with the anime awards that are coming up this weekend. Actually, I don't know when this episode will air, but if it airs before this weekend, big
Yeah.
news there.
This is
And
coming
then
out Friday, so probably tomorrow.
yeah,
There you go.
perfect. So and then just kind of just if I want to throw a hot take in there, I'll throw a hot take in there. So
There you go.
but yeah, that is why I am here. I am here to nerd out about anime. So
Hell
without
yeah.
further ado, do you have any questions for me before I hop in?
Oh, so this is an interview show, so I'm gonna interview you, but we'll
Oh,
we'll
okay,
bounce
perfect,
off each other. Don't you worry, we'll get
perfect.
there. So the purpose of this show, if you don't know, Frankfurter, is for me to get someone on this show to get really dive in to what they're really into and explain it to me. Tell me why it's great. Try to get the viewer or the listener to be interested in it, and then to really get deep in your Duffy, get as nerdy and technical and like ridiculously nerdy as you possibly can.
Just
Uh,
gonna get all up in my Duffy, aren't you?
yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
just so you know, that's what we expect on this show. And in case this is your first time watching the show, that's what this show's all about. That's why it's called What You've Been Nerding Out On. So, sir,
yes.
anime. So, what got you into anime?
Technically, I've been watching it nearly my whole life. My uncle lived in Japan when I was a kid. He told my parents what movies kids were watching over there,
Mhm.
so they bought like all the Studio Ghibli movies. So I've been watching Castle in the Sky and My Neighbor Totoro since I was a child. Yes, I do have a preference for the My Neighbor Totoro. It is definitely the Fox dub. If you're a fan of the Disney dub, go fuck yourself. Not that it's bad, but just the Fox dub is superior. Regardless, I've been watching anime essentially ever since I've been a child, watching the Ghibli movies and then kind of straying away from it when I was really growing up. And then in like the sixth grade, kind of like fifth, sixth grade, junior high, watched a lot of Toonami, a lot of Dragon Ball Z, and Inuyasha, shows like that. You know, if you're a Toonami kid, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Big time.
And then yeah, and then high school hit, and all that stuff is like a taboo. Don't watch it. Don't talk about it. You don't do whatever. So occasionally would watch things here and there, but really like in high school, I was watching again just the Studio Ghibli movies whenever they came out to theaters because I was lucky enough to be born and raised in Los Angeles, and those type of movies actually hit movie theaters. So I was lucky
That's
enough to
awesome.
like be able to go see some of these movies in theaters. Like I saw Spirited Away in 2001 in theaters. I saw fuck, I didn't see the
Mononoke?
Howl's Moving Castle. I didn't. No, Mononoke was before, way before I was even born. Let
Oh,
alone before I had a chance. Yeah, Princess. Or no,
wow.
wait, was Princess
Sometimes I
Mononoke not in the
forget.
80s?
No, no, I don't think
Oh, it was
so.
97. No, I was 5 years old when Princess Mononoke came out. So no, I did not watch that in theaters. Uh, but Wind Rises is the one I was thinking of. I got to go see that with my younger sister,
What's it called?
and that was The Wind Rises.
The Wind Rises. Okay.
That was the first movie that Hayao, or one of the first movies that Hayao was Miyazaki was like, yeah, I'm retiring after this. I think it was Ponyo
Oh
first, and then it
yeah,
was The Wind Rises, and then now the Boy and the Heron that recently came out a couple years ago, and so.
yeah. I
But
still haven't watched The Boy and the Heron.
oh, it's
Uh,
fun, it's wonderful,
I was
absolutely.
like, dude, I was tripping balls on mushrooms, right? And I was like, I need to put a movie on, so I put that shit on. And the very
Nope.
beginning of that movie is like sirens, like bombs are about to drop, and I was like, wrong vibe, wrong fucking vibe.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely an art piece rather than anything else. Like it's Miyazaki just basically culminating his career in a movie. It's just like the innocence, the growing up, and the acceptance, kind of the three stages of that. And it was a beautiful movie. So do highly suggest it when you're
Yeah,
not tripping on mushrooms.
yeah, oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. I just need
but
to actually watch it, you know.
but yeah, didn't really watch much in high school, and then in college, after going through a breakup, my buddy suggested I watch Cowboy Bebop, and that was the first time I watched it. Fell absolutely head over heels in that show. That show's one of my favorite shows of all time, let alone anime, which it is my favorite anime of all time, if
Yeah,
that's a question you can ask.
totally.
Um, but Cowboy Bebop for sure got me right back into it, and then I started watching kind of the early mid to, just kind of the 2000s classics. So I went from there. I went to Code Geass. I did Samurai Champloo, uh, amongst other shows, Angel Beats, etc. Like things from the 2000s, and then
Yeah.
really started getting watching seasonally in 2016, 2015, somewhere around there.
Hmm.
And I haven't looked back since. And
Yeah.
run a podcast all about anime, and we post episodes weekly. That is
What's that called?
basically my story in a nutshell. The podcast is called Baka and Company, or if you're looking us up on social medias, Baka and Co. So yes, but that is basically my nutshell of general anime in a nutshell for Frank. So
Awesome.
yeah,
Um, great. So what the hell is anime for the uninitiated?
anime is Japanese animation. Anime literally translates to animation. And anime specifically is just animation just made in Japan.
Mhm.
So you can have things that are inspired by anime that are Western, aka like Avatar: The Last Airbender, which a lot of people do consider anime, but technically, if you're going to put it in quotations, it's not. I do consider it because it's damn close. It may as well be. But yeah, it's just animation coming from Japan.
All right. That's wonderful. Definitely has a look to it that's kind of different.
It is unique.
Right?
Yeah, it is unique. I mean, if you compare any Japanese animation really to Western animation, completely different. It looks insanely different, and you can really just spot it with a glance of an eye. But I feel like nowadays it's getting a little bit closer. Things are kind of starting to
Yeah.
blend a bit more together,
Yeah, I
and
agree.
just specifically with kids shows and the 3D animation art style. I
Mhm.
think that there are some things that are I didn't realize are Japanese that are Japanese, and things that are Western that I didn't realize are Western. So it's one of those things that it's starting to blend now because anime has boomed so much in the past 10 years, let alone the last 5 years from the pandemic onwards. So that now everybody's trying to get it, mimic it, and just kind of make it their own.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's been great to see that it's no longer a taboo topic to talk about,
No.
for at least for kids who are in school and everything, because I lived in the day where you would be lambasted by other kids if you were like, I watched this show, and it
Yeah.
was like the only anime that was acceptable was like Pokemon. That's about it.
Really?
Yeah, like
Wow. Well, I mean, so I'm a bit older than you, I think. And like I think Dragon Ball Z came out when I was in middle school, like on Toonami, and so
Yeah.
that was cool. Like in my day, it was like you either watched Dragon Ball Z and Gundam Wing, or you watched like Sailor Moon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's how it
And I mean,
was.
I did watch Dragon Ball Z, and I had friends to talk about that with, but like you didn't openly say it around other people that weren't that friend group
Oh
because
yeah,
people
because you could get beat
would
up.
just people would as I said, lambast you. They just fucking just annihilate you.
Yeah, you get
Um,
bullied. Yeah, for sure. Same thing with
exactly.
like video games and shit. And then one
I
day,
feel like
like
video games
everyone was
was
nerdy. It's weird.
that may have just been you. For me, it was always socially acceptable. I don't know. For me, it was that's much different, I guess, because to me, everybody was playing games. So
Yeah, well, not. I mean, maybe in liberal California, but in Vegas, I would get bullied for everything. So yeah. So
fair
I
enough.
feel that. I do feel that. But at least when we got older, uh, more people were into anime and stuff. And then like the last year I was in middle school was when Pokemon blew up, and then the Pokemon like card mafias started showing up. They would show
Yep,
up with their fucking like
their binder.
binders, and they would all like attack each other on like the lunch tables and stuff. And it was like I was like, I'm done. Bye,
I'm out.
Pokemon. I'm done with you.
GG,
The game was
GG's
fun.
goodbye.
I got a Mewtwo. I moved on. Um,
Yeah. So
so
I
like
agree.
what you were saying earlier, I did bring this up. The Dragon Prince kind of has an
Yeah,
anime style, right? I think this is a
yeah.
Western show.
I can double check your information, but yeah, no, like that's a good example of Western animation that does look like. Oh God, why did I definitely spelled out Dragon Prince and it Googled Prince and just photos of Prince just popped out across my Google search, and I was just like, whoa, this is not what I was looking for.
That's hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah, it was a Netflix show. It might not. It's definitely not Japanese, but
It is a,
okay,
like
country
a
of origin is the United States and Canada.
yeah, it's
Okay.
like a CG show, like a 3D like,
Yeah.
show. But it really does, like, again, like that's the thing about a lot of these animation projects now. Like you're right, there's a lot of blending. I feel like anime is huge in America these days, and really like worldwide, especially with millennials and younger, like everyone's watching anime all the time, and it's people you wouldn't expect.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's kind of funny, like the last time or at Thanksgiving time, my older sister has two children, one who just turned 3, excuse me, and then one who's just about to turn 1. And she was just like, me and my younger sister, we really like anime, and we were talking about it in front of her. And she was like, well, yeah, I tried putting on one of those shows for my 3-year-old, and it's just so weird. Like, I was just like, what show did you put on? And she's like, The Miraculous Ladybug and Cat Noir. And I'm like, I have never heard of it. I have no recollection of what you're talking about. But again, it's one of those 3D shows that I didn't think was anime, but technically, yeah, it was made by a Japanese animation studio.
What
And I
in the
was like,
fuck is
huh,
this?
right? I was very confused as well.
Huh?
So like when she said that, I was like, I have no idea what you are talking about.
What
But
is this?
I have no clue. I just know that, or actually, sorry, it is not or it's not anime. It is made in France.
Oh, it's
So
French.
it's French.
This is
Sorry.
giving French. It
It
really
is
is.
giving French. I did not mean to just bespeech and talk down upon Japanese animation. This is very much so a French show.
Cherry in the
Uh,
chat says my kids love that show. See, we got one.
yeah, I again, I don't have kids, so I've never heard of
I
it.
don't
But
know.
when my sister was like, "Yeah, I put on one of those shows," it was too weird for me to listen to, so I turned it off. I was like, I have no idea what you just turned on for your child, so I apologize. But yeah, no, it's definitely come a long way from when you and I were kids. Let alone we don't have
Oh yeah,
necessarily a huge age gap between the two of us, but enough to where the
I was
differences
I,
of
I was born in '86,
yeah, and
so
I was born in '92, so we're
yeah.
a
See,
6-year difference. So
well,
it's
I'm
not
like
huge, but it is still
like
significant in,
two
in
school
technology.
years ahead of you, almost like one and a half.
Yeah.
something like that.
So
Because I graduated in '05.
from high school?
Yeah.
Oh, I graduated in 2011. So
See, that's kind of considered. It's 6 years. So
yeah,
it's
like I
it is
said,
interesting because like my first experience with anime was fucking what 1992 maybe. I was with my dad's. I was at my dad's house and we went to his friend's house and they were gonna like they had like a band. They're trying to make a band and stuff like that. Whatever. So
right.
they're over there jamming, and then the bassist guy, the dude's house we're at, he brings me into his room. He's like, oh, I have all these movies you want to watch. Check them out. There's these crazy ass cartoons, and I was like, I want to watch that one. And he pulls out Fist of the North Star, and I'm
Oh
like
Jesus
10
fucking
or
Christ.
11, right?
Yeah.
First time I've seen anime.
That's a show to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
If ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know
It's
Fist of the North Star,
it's pretty
classic
wild.
first and foremost, but very violent, very very violent to show to a 10-year-old.
Arturo Arturo in the chat says, I was born in the early 80s, Jacob. You were born in the late 80s. We're from two different worlds. It's kind of true. Not exactly.
Yeah.
It's just like we're all like one like little group of people and group of things coming out at different stages of our lives ahead of each other. Right? So like
Yeah.
Pokemon was middle school for me. Right? Pokemon for you was elementary school. That had to be even crazier.
It was a lot of fun because to me I equate Pokemon with the card game as a kid, but also just the video games. Like the anime I feel like was tertiary. It wasn't really, cards, anime, then
But
video game. It was
I was in middle
cards, video
school, like my first year of middle school or something like that, when Pokemon came out, and that anime came out at the same time, and it was Poke Fever in this middle school.
Yeah.
It was crazy as fuck.
It was the same for us
Wild.
too, and I remember when that first movie came to theaters in the United States. Like my dad took us to the movies, my older sister and I, because we were obsessed with Pokemon, and we were the only three people in the theater, and it was my sister and I enjoyed ourselves to the fullest.
The first
My dad was like, "That was the worst piece of shit movie I'd ever seen."
You're like, he's like, what's with this stupid yellow rat? That thing's fucking annoying. Can it talk? Can it say other words? Does it just say Pikachu? Is that all it does?
No, Dad, it's not the world of Pokemon. They only say their names. But yeah, no, Pokemon was definitely a huge part of my childhood. I definitely fell out of, not necessarily out of love, but haven't been interested in Pokemon as an adult. Like not for the lack of trying.
I'm kind of the same, yeah.
I played X or Y. I think I played X, and then I played Sword. Well, actually, I don't remember if I played Sword or Shield, but I played Sword or Shield. Didn't like either of them. They were fine. They lost the formula somewhere down the line of make it challenging but not impossible. It was just entirely way too easy.
Well, I don't know. It's just it takes a lot out of me, but I feel like the new ones seem more modernized and quality of life on like the gameplay, time sync. So I could see myself trying them. I am getting the Switch too. And so
nice.
I will buy a Pokemon game and we'll see what happens. But
as I've actively counterpicked Pokemon ZA for our
I don't
Fantasy
know.
Critic League.
Depends on the reviews because the Switch 1 version is going to look really bad. But the Switch 2 version is going to be like a fun game.
We'll see.
All right, so video games be damned. Back to anime. See, that's the thing about Pokemon is that it just really is a multimedia event. It's hitting everything.
Yeah, right? And I'm not
cards,
like
physical stuff.
I'm not at all upset of not being obsessed with Pokemon because those card fans, they've got it fucking rough right now.
Oh, it's wild.
But I will say, at least Pokemon is taking the right steps of trying to go against scalpers. But that's a whole other topic for a whole another time. Back to anime.
Yeah, it's just anime is a big topic, but anime. What does anime come from? Manga, of course. So I think we should take a step back from anime, and just so people know, obviously, a lot of, if not all, anime stories were once a comic book, right? But they call it manga over there in Japan.
Yes and no. A majority of things are
Well,
based off of manga. So
sometimes they're
there
books.
are well, no. So there are manga, there are light novels, which
Mhm,
is the books, and
mhm,
then newly kind of getting more popular, at least for being transformed into anime, is manhwa, which is Korean comics.
mm,
Um,
mhm,
but there are original shows as well, and some shows that are near and dear to people's hearts are originals.
right.
So like your Kill la Kill, your Cowboy Bebop.
Mhm,
There are a few shows going on this season that are also originals, like the new show Lazarus on HBO or Max or whatever you want to call it. Like these, there are shows that are original ideas. There is no source material from it. It's
mhm,
just, hey, let's go. So I mean, there are. It's a mixture of everything. Still primarily manga. We're getting more and more light novels
mhm,
thrown into the mix. Where light novels will have manga adaptations before the anime too, sometimes, and then as I said, manhwa. So like everything is being adapted, and there are still originals thrown into them.
mhm. Nice. So let's talk about manga itself. Uh,
My lovely bookshelves behind me here that you probably can only see like the one and then a little bit of another, but
yeah,
yeah, I've got two bookshelves completely filled with manga. What would you like
nice.
to know?
Well, first of all, it's just comics, right? How is it
Yeah,
different?
it's just comics, except you read them backwards. So you're reading from right to left, still reading the from like up down, but like you read in the like right to left. Or I think it's mirrored, so like I'm not doing it the correct way on
It's
camera. But
right to left,
regardless,
right to
yeah,
left.
you're reading from right to left, and then still up to down. But yeah, that's basically the big difference.
Yeah,
Because
like
and
each cell you're reading right to left, essentially.
Yeah, and I can grab a book here real quick and just
Yeah,
kind of
let's
show you because
demonstrate that.
the covers are on the other side. One sec. I realize there's a dog bed behind me, so I can't really roll that.
I completely forgot that I should have grabbed like one manga and like, one of my anime DVDs
So
or something. Oh well.
a normal book, you would just kind of read. You would read left to right, but
Right.
with manga, you read right to left,
Get
and the
bring
cover
bring
obviously.
yeah, bring it
Oh
closer to
yeah,
your face so they can
yeah,
see
yeah.
it.
Yeah. So you would read right to
Mhm.
left compared to the cover being left to right.
Yeah.
And the cover is obviously backwards because the spine has to be backwards.
Mhm.
So this book here, specifically, I didn't pick it off the shelf for any particular reason. It was just the first one really available. The Last Elf. Really enjoyed this as a brand new series to the United States. Anyways, I don't know how many volumes they call them volumes rather than books.
Mm.
Saying book one or book two, you just kind of get weird looks. It is volume one, volume two, and then
Okay.
excuse me, each volume has a set amount of chapters in it.
Hmm.
Usually, books are about anywhere from 180 pages to 230 pages, somewhere in that range.
Mhm.
Just depends. And then there are a big trend that's kind of happening in the manga space, especially for the United States. Things are like older series are getting deluxe editions, and what it is three books in one. They're all in a nice hardback. Some better than others, but it's a very nice collection, and the books are bigger themselves. So like the pictures are also nice and big, and it's very detailed. So uh, perfect example, Berserk is the biggest one that everybody kind of knows that's getting deluxe, not digital deluxe, deluxe edition books. The artwork in Berserk in general is just so detailed, and the books themselves, like the individual volumes, are very small. They're legitimately like this small, which putting up to a 16 or ounce can of beer, like they're very small.
Yeah.
Um, so seeing all these details is kind of hard. You get a bigger hardback cover, which want to grab it. I'm not going to. It's just very nice. Like it's wonderful. So,
Nice.
but yeah, no, like the biggest difference really is just the right to left, and then the comics themselves. In the United States, comic books they're colored in. They're about 19 to not 19 pages. They're probably like 25 pages, and they come out monthly.
Mhm.
Uh, Manga, they are black and white. Everything
Mhm.
is black and white. There are exceptions to where some of them are in color, and some of them will just have like color pages here and there. but
Yeah,
they are
that's what I'm more used
black
for.
and white. And the reason they're black and white is because chapters are released generally weekly. So depending on the series, they'll either be weekly chapter releases, bi-weekly, so every other week, or monthly. Those are really the
Hmm.
three options. So there are some series that I read weekly on the Shonen Jump app, which is very affordable. It's like $3 a month, and you get 100 chapters a day to read.
Dang, that's
Wonderful
awesome.
resource. Wonderful resource of getting into manga without having to buy a bunch of books. Um, and you have weekly series on there that I read every week. There are bi-weekly series on there that I read every Sunday. I think one of my favorites on there that is every other week is a series called Ruri Dragon, Ruri. It is a wonderful little slice of life where a girl, basically a middle school girl, her life is kind of flipped upside down when she learns that she is a dragon because she grew horns out of her head, and she's basically adapting to a new life as being a dragon and what comes with that. And basically she keeps getting random different dragon powers with it. So every 5 6 chapters, or every new arc or whatever, she's got a new power and she's got to figure out how to a control it, and b uh just control it and make sure that she doesn't harm anybody. It's very wholesome. It's very fun. It's one of my favorites. But this is an example of a bi-weekly or every other week series, and then
Nice.
monthly series that I absolutely adore. Zom 100. I mean, if
Oh
you've
yeah.
never watched the anime, it's a monthly series. Fantastic. Other monthly series that I really enjoy, probably my favorite, which I feel like it's coming to an end where it feels almost kind of like they're in their last arc. It's a series called Shoha Shoten. So it's SHOHA dash Shoha Shoten SHOWTEN. It's a wonderful series about stand-up comedy where it's two guys performing manzai comedy. So it's just kind of back and forth banter, uh, rather than just kind of stand-up comedy where it's single people, etc. It goes behind the thing I love about it isn't the fact of just like, oh, these guys know comedy, they know exactly what it is. It's like, no, I've got to learn how to properly create a joke, phrase a joke, time a joke, etc. Like it kind of goes really into depth about comedy rather than just like, hey, here's a bunch of comedy. And just kind of the comedy competitions that they have in Japan, and it's wonderful. It's a monthly series. Absolutely enjoy it. I can't recommend it more than anything really that's out there. But
Nice.
yeah, there are, and again, there's a bunch of weekly shows like, or if you know any of the big three or any of the big series, more than likely it's a weekly title. So
Yeah, yeah. Like what? One Piece.
yeah, you got your One
Probably.
Piece. No, Baruto's not weekly. What am I about? One Piece is weekly. Kagurabachi is weekly, which that hasn't gotten an anime yet, but it will be. Uh, God, read so many of them. Sakamoto Days. Golly, I am blanking. Dude, my brain is just dead right now. That just means we need to open another beer. But yeah, there's just
Attaboy.
a bunch of, yeah, I know. There's a bunch of just weekly series that I read. I think I read about 15 of them, and I've completely started
Wow.
blanking on all of them. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
lot.
So you're really into manga, obviously, not
Yep,
just anime.
yep.
Obviously, we're talking about anime on this episode, which we'll still
Hmm.
we'll steer back over to. But when it comes to manga specifically, just as a
Yeah.
question on the topic, what are your like top 5 manga out there like that you'd like people to
Oh,
consider
I'm gonna
buying?
I'm gonna cheat and just kind of turn around because
Sure, go ahead.
yeah. So in terms of quality, I do highly suggest the Berserk Deluxe editions, which you can't see
Mm-hmm.
because it's way over on this side on the bottom shelf. So, actually, you can kind of see them where the little keychain is right there, the little black spines with the red text. Those are the
Yeah,
Berserk Deluxe editions.
nice.
Um, Highly suggest
See
them.
him down there.
They are always on sale. Never pay full price because it is $50 a book at full price. They're
Yeah.
always on sale for about $30, $35. Just wait for a sale. Berserk books, absolutely wonderful. There is a slice of life slash kind of action adventure type show series called Witch Hat Atelier. that is by far my favorite yeah, book series that is still going on. I believe it's a monthly series. I don't read ahead in the chapters, so like whenever we get a physical book, I buy it day one, I consume it day one because
Nice.
it's by far and away my
What the?
favorite series. Like if you absolutely love Harry Potter, this
Yeah.
isn't necessarily anything like Harry Potter. This is like reading it gives me the same childlike wonder I had reading Harry Potter, just without all the guilt of J.K. Rowling. So,
I'm
like,
giving
if
you
you were
a
looking.
miraculous ladybug jump scare.
Yeah, I keep seeing that. I'm like, "Why the fuck are you doing this?" But no, like, for me, this series, it's won an Eisner Award, which is Eisner obviously coming from Disney, prolific
Mhm.
animator.
Oh yeah.
It's won an Eisner Award for its art. It's absolutely incredibly detailed. The world is rich. The characters are great. The development and everything about it is fantastic. The only similarities it has to Harry Potter is the fact that it revolves around magic. But
Cool.
I cannot recommend this series more to anybody. It is legitimately one of my favorite ones out there. Um, but yeah, there's 13 volumes out right now. I only have volume 1 with. I've lent the other 12 out to a friend. But yeah,
Wow.
if you don't want to spend the $35 or whatever on sale Berserk Deluxe Edition, pick up volume 1 of this, read it, and if you love it, keep going.
Tight.
Um, yeah. Other than that, it's an anime. We might get to it. We probably won't, but Shangri-La Frontier.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
know
happening right
that
now.
a
That
lot
show.
of people like the show. They think it's good. It's not great. Like the animation quality definitely takes a dip. That's a topic we can talk about if you want to. But regardless, the book series itself, like the manga itself, is an absolute delight. This is another series. Every time a volume comes out, day one, I'm at the bookstore. I'm at Barnes and Noble. I'm at Kinokuniya, whatever bookstore it is.
Hmm.
I'm there. I'm buying it. I'm getting it day one, and I'm reading it day one.
Sweet.
Which, by the way, as to where do you get books, Barnes and Noble is a huge one. All your Barnes and Nobles have a lot of manga, a lot more than you think they do.
A lot. Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's that. Crunchyroll. If you have a subscription to Crunchyroll, you automatically have some sort of discount to just basically everything that they sell, or a
Yep.
majority of things that they sell. Um, that's a good source as well. Even though I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, but you're just supporting Sony, who's just a big company or whatever." You know what? They give you a big discount. That's probably going to be one of the cheapest places you buy it that isn't secondhand. So
People just nitpick everything. I swear to God, dude. Let me just buy shit. Get off my
yeah,
case.
and then there
You don't have
are
to
if
buy
you're
it, but let me fucking spend my money how I want, please.
there are stores kind of scattered throughout the United States, but mostly in just big cities. It's a store called Kinokuniya. So
Okay.
it's basically a stationery store, but they sell a lot of books as well. Yeah, that's the site.
Nice.
So they sell a lot of stationery, but they sell manga, art books. They do sell like the Japanese books as well. So like all the big series in Japanese they have there as well. So if you're thinking about you love One Piece or whatever, and you want to collect the Japanese books, but don't want to pay somebody on eBay and it be a fake or something, or wait a month to get it. Kinokuni is a good resource. They do sometimes, like if you want to get a legitimate Shonen Jump subscription to where you are getting them every week or
Hmm.
every month, whichever one you want to subscribe to, you can. It's a yearly subscription. It's a little expensive, but you can do that and you can get them weekly.
Wild.
Like this is a very,
It's like
again,
having the pull box.
yeah, but these stores are very far and few
Ooh,
between, but they are definitely worth checking out. So,
Dragon Ball
but
Super.
yeah, it's really funny. Almost a majority of these books, like I know at least a good bit about them, or if nothing else, behind them. I know you're on Dragon Ball Super, but regardless, yeah, these are like the three main go-tos that I have
Cool.
for buying books. But as for other series, rapid fire, I've given you three. The Soul Eater deluxe editions or special editions, the
Soul Eater
hardcovers
is
that
good.
Square Enix, yeah, the ones that Square Enix has released, they were very high quality and I really like them. And then I'm gonna give a shout out to a series that just doesn't get a lot of love, I feel like, in the United States, but it's absolutely wonderful. A series called Akane Banashi, AKA NE Banashi. You can try and spell it; it'll probably autocorrect for you. Um,
This?
Absolutely lovely. Yes, this is a story about a girl who follows in her dad's footsteps to perform an art style called Rakugo, which is basically just performing a style, a sort of story in front of an audience. Essentially, it's a story time for the audience. It could be funny, it could be dramatic. It's wonderful. I absolutely adore this series. Week in, week out, it's one of my favorite series for weekly chapters. Highly recommend it. Not for everybody. I already know that everybody's like, "Oh, I tried it. I didn't like it." That's fine. You don't have to like it. I thoroughly enjoy it. I do like. I kind of tend to go towards the things that aren't Western coded. Like they're not always actiony. Not always like I love learning about Japanese culture and like their different things that they do. So like learning about Rakugo and what that
Yeah.
was, etc. Like it was eye opening to me, and I really enjoyed it, and I bought into the story. It's wonderful. So
Yeah, like
yeah,
Haikyuu is fun because not only do you get to
yeah,
learn about volleyball, and the people that played in school and shit, but it also teaches you about volleyball in Japan and how that relates to
yeah.
their culture. And, that's what's good about slice of life shows or grounded shows that aren't like just about dying and going to another world so you can be like a magician or something. Like
Yeah,
fucking
isekai,
70% of all anime right now is isekais, and it's like so
which is
fucking
now
draining.
now a actual term in the Webster's dictionary.
It
So
should
that's
be.
a fun fact. No, it is. It is. As of last year, it was added to the Webster's dictionary. So
I mean, it is
there
a
you go.
trope, but I'm just saying, like, that's like
It's a
every time
genre. It's
I,
not a trope. It's a genre.
it's a
It's
genre
straight up a
straight
genre.
up, and I don't know, I find it to be,
What do yeah.
I'm bored with it.
No, I get it. There are it's a
There's
lot of
ones that are
slop.
good.
There's a
There's
lot of
ones that are
slop, but there
good.
are good
Yeah,
ones.
of
Yeah.
course. But yeah, exactly what I'm saying. Like, I just like I keep trying to put on random fantasy anime because I'm like I just want to watch knights do something, and it's always an isekai. And I'm like, fuck, where's the just fantasy show? So when I find those, I'm usually like really into them. Like
Yeah.
Delicious in Dungeon, for instance, great show.
Delicious in Dungeon is great. If you want just a straight up fantasy show that just like not necessarily that it went under the radar, but like people really enjoyed it, and it was one of those shows that I wrote off as well. But then I watched it and I was like, yes, no, this is 100% great. There's a fantasy show out there called Wistoria Wand and Sword. It came out last summer.
Cool.
12 episodes. It's to be continued eventually. Fantastic
Sweet.
fantasy action show.
Yeah. Also, I liked the what is it? The little prince guy.
Oh,
Fucking
Boji is his name, the
yeah.
main character's name.
Fuck, I forgot.
Why am
Name
I
of it.
blanking? Ranking of Kings.
Ranking of Kings. Thank you.
Yeah,
Great first
absolutely.
season.
And I
Then
need to
watch
finish it. I never finished it. That's a blind spot. Like I've
that.
watched the first couple episodes, and it's just
Gotta
like
watch
I
it.
know it's phenomenal, but it's
It's
just
good.
like I
It
also know it's heavy. I know
it
it's heavy, and I just need to get to it.
it's just that like season 2 is completely different, and I don't know if I liked it that much, so I
That's
definitely
fair.
fell off of season 2. And Arturo in the chat says Record of Lodos War is the epic fantasy anime. Wasn't that also like aren't those
It
mechs
was a
in there?
PlayStation games. There was like a PS3 visual novel game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. They're supposed to be cool. I do
I
want to check them out. It's on my list.
Yeah, I never got into it. I never actually really gave it a try.
Mhm.
But I know of it. I know of it. I just
There's a lot of anime.
yeah. There's a lot. I mean, there's just
Let's
a
get
lot
to
of just
anime.
everything.
Let's get to the
Yeah, let's get
anime
to anime.
of it all. I mean, it's all connected, obviously. Like you said, there are some original animes. Everything that Gainax made, basically, right? Fucking Cowboy Bebop is original, I believe, and we just talked about how that's like the best anime.
Oh, it's my
Everything made
favorite
by
for
them.
sure. Yeah.
Um, but I'm just saying, like, there is a lot of anime that is based on manga, so I thought it was important for us to at least discuss what manga is, and we could call out the shows that we talk about that are manga, etc., etc. But getting to anime, all like in general, what do you look for in an anime?
Honestly, it really depends on the mood. Like, and I know that that's kind of such a cop out answer. But it really does depend on my mood. Like, there are a lot of phenomenal shows that are out
Mm.
this season that are kind of not necessarily darker, but like a lot more heavy themed and serious, and hey, you need to pay attention. Um, Examples being To Be Hero X, wonderful. Windbreaker is a darker, kind of grittier action show. Fire Force is along those lines of just like it's an action show that you probably need to pay attention to every little detail.
Fire
And then
Force
like
is really good, but it still is funny. It's still like
it runs in
really
it does have its
lighthearted.
trope. Yeah, but it does have its tropes too that are kind of like
Yeah,
icky, but it is what
it
it is.
does.
And
Yeah,
then
it
like
does the gross thing.
and then
We'll
there's
get to that
also
in a little
like
bit.
we'll get to that. But and then there's also My Hero Academia Vigilantes, which is phenomenal. It's one
It's
of my
good.
I
Sweet.
have all the books for it. The entire series is out. If you want to buy it, go for it. I do highly recommend it because I do enjoy it more than the My Hero Academia. Like I enjoy the spin-off more than I do the original show.
Yeah,
Um
it every time I turn Crunchyroll on, it's suggesting I watch Vigilantes. So
yeah, it's wonderful. I think it's great, but
cool.
I'm behind on every single one of those shows. I've had zero inclination to go to those shows because like it's not the mood I'm in for right now.
Right.
The mood I'm in for right now is just kind of just something either really dumb, like there's a show on Prime. I'll have to look up the name of it. Hold on,
Didn't you
Prime,
didn't you suggest a
Amazon.
show about like a gorilla god?
That is one of the shows that I will get to. Uh, Golly, does Prime not have like a watch list or a history list? I don't think it
Didn't come prepared.
does.
How could you?
Yeah, I didn't come prepared. Fuck, dude.
What's it
Okay,
about?
there's the basic. Fuck, I thought I found it. It's
I
like
could
an
Google it.
old country bumpkin becomes he's basically a sword master in the sticks, and one of his
From old country
previous student.
bumpkin to master swordsman.
Thank you. Yes, that is the title. It's on Prime. It's absolutely nonsensical. It's absolutely stupid. There's some fan service in it, but it's so much fun.
Makes sense.
It's so
Makes sense.
dumb. It's fun. But there's like things like that. The show that you were alluding to, which is the Gorilla God's Go-To Girl, which is so outlandishly just like it's a stupid. It's a rom-com action series, and it's just dumb like girl like in this world when you turn 16 you are blessed by an animal god. This
Hmm.
girl gets blessed by the gorilla god and she has like gorilla strength essentially.
Oh, sweet.
So she just runs into all these issues and then they're like her teacher who knows about it is like, hey, you should join the military academy, essentially the junior knights. And so she just like, I'll try out but I'm not going to make it, and she just fucking aces everything because she's got the skills and strength of a gorilla. Like it's really just dumb shit. It's not good. But it's fluff that's fun that I can watch. But like it really it just depends on the mood that I'm in. And again, it's just the dumb shows and the slice of life shows. So it's those. It's Catch Me at the Ballpark, which is all about
Oh
Japanese
yeah.
baseball and the beer girls and the that go around selling beer to people. There's another show that I'm a little behind on called Mono, Mono, where
Like the
basically
disease.
yes, like the disease. The photography club that this girl was a part of her first year of high school is about to get disbanded because they lost members. So they join forces with the photography club and the film club essentially to form one mega club. And it's stupid. It's slice of life. It's lighthearted. It's fun to watch. And then probably my favorite slice of life that's going on this season is a silly show called Food for the Soul, where it's just cute girls do cute things. It's university girls that join a club to or make a club to where they can slack off, but one girl thinks that they're actually going to be making food, so they have to make food to in order to keep their it's a fluff piece. It's fine. It's so fun. It's fun. It just really just depends on the mood you're in. And this is apparently the mood that I'm in. I'm not in the mood to watch To Be Hero X. I'm not in the mood to really watch Vigilantes, despite the fact that I think I'm only one episode behind.
Mm.
Like I feel like I've been bombarded with action shows and fantasy
Yeah.
shows over the past year plus that I'm like, let me just slow the fuck down for a bit and just chill, watch some just fine TV shows that I can just really just relax to.
Nice.
So that's
Uh,
kind of what I've been really in the mood for right now.
So, what was your first anime officially? Was it Pokemon?
No, it was either Castle in the Sky or My Neighbor Totoro. It was one of
Okay,
those two.
right. So, what's your favorite Ghibli?
Castle in the Sky is my favorite Ghibli movie. Again, I grew up with it, but at the same time, if you're going to take everything and look at it as a whole, I know everybody has the arguments for Princess Mononoke. I know everybody loves Spirited Away,
Yeah.
Howl's Moving Castle. They're all fine and dandy. Do enjoy them. They have a place in my heart.
Yep.
They all fundamentally have the same flaw that Castle in the Sky does not. And that is Act 3 of every single one of those movies is fucking like Usain Bolt. It is way too quick. It is
Mhm.
a fraction of the movie, and like everything in the third act of all of those movies is done in the blink of an eye. But Castle in the Sky, they do follow an act 1, 2, and 3, and they follow it well, and it's well paced. It is one of the better paced
Mhm.
movies. I know that to me, Castle in the Sky is just such a fun adventure movie. It is pure adventure at the end of the day. It's not necessarily like
Yeah.
they do have a goal. Like they have a goal. Like it's one of the Ghibli movies that actually has a through line to it.
Yeah, it's
Like
like
you
a
can you
adventure.
yeah, but like there are if you look at all the Ghibli movies, like there are only a handful that have an actual through line.
Yeah.
Like you can like My Neighbor Totoro, not really a through line there. Nausicaa the Valley of the Wind, you can debate that there's a through line with trying to save the forest, but like it's very loose. They kind of tiptoe around it. Princess Mononoke is just like it doesn't have a through line until like the very end, kind
No,
of, or like in the
that
middle.
whole story has a through line. You're crazy.
Okay, what is it?
They have to fucking save the forest, dude.
Okay, and when does that come into play?
From the very beginning. The
No,
forest is art. He gets
he gets
cursed by a
cursed in the
fucking
beginning.
by a
Yeah,
boar
he gets
from the
he gets
forest. The forest is fucked up. That's the whole point. He goes on the journey. It's also an adventure.
it's
You're
very loose.
ridiculous. You're
It is
loose.
very loose.
You're fucking
Sure I
loose.
am.
Look at you. Also, Arturo in the chat said Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind was his favorite, and that's why I put that up on the screen behind us.
Yeah, it's I
They're all good though.
A lot of people have thoughts about Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind. I do really enjoy it. Fun fact for you, if you watch the original version of that movie that came to the United States back in the 80s,
Mhm.
you probably watched an entirely different movie because
Wild.
the when it came over to the States, they made such heavy edits to it. They didn't want a female lead. So it was like like it was a completely different movie. It was completely
Whoa.
butchered, different plot line. Everything about that movie was completely different. I forget what the title of it is. It's on VHS. That's the only way you can watch it.
Wild.
But yeah,
With
so and it
which movie? Nausicaa?
yeah, Nausicaa the Valley of the Wind.
Wow. Okay. Well, we can look
If
it
you
up.
look it up, yeah, I forget what the actual title of it is, but like when it first came to the United States, it was butchered, and that's why when other
Warriors of the
movies,
Wind?
yes, that is the movie Warriors of the Wind. Uh, when the movie, when they like that movie almost killed Studio Ghibli in the United States. Like Hayao Miyazaki did not want to send another movie over here. He was like,
I get it.
I think, yeah. So the next time they sent a movie over, and I forget which movie specifically, he sent the studio a samurai sword, and with it a note that said "no cuts," and that was basic. It wasn't a laughing matter to him. It was literally a threat. He was saying basically
Yeah,
like if
I'll
you
stab
butcher
you.
this movie again, I am going to fucking I will come after you.
Oh,
But yeah,
here's the cover of that. Wow, totally fucking weird. What the fuck? That does not even look
completely it is a completely different movie.
unbelievable.
So
Wow.
so there's your
That's
Ghibli
nuts.
fun fact of the day, other than the fact that I told you about Totoro and the different dubs there. But
See,
yeah,
this is why we're
technically
doing the show.
yeah, technically Castle in the Sky was my excuse me, first anime. It was either that or My Neighbor Totoro. It was one of the two. Um, but I mean, actual anime TV show is probably either Pokemon or something along the likes of that on Kids
Mhm.
WB. one of those shows. So
I feel like original Dragon Ball might have been one I saw on like Fox, the Fox channel super early. I think Dragon Ball Z as well.
yeah,
Wild.
I I gotta watch Dragon Ball original like again because I watched episodes here and there, and I thought I watched the entire thing. No, I didn't. But I've seen a majority of that and a majority of Z. I think when I
Yeah,
was a kid, I fell off of Z in the Majin Buu era.
that's the
So I've
end.
watched everything up. Yeah, I know.
So you
I
just
got
watch a
to
couple more episodes and you're done.
yeah, essentially. And I got through a good chunk of Super, and I just never finished it. But it is what it
Well,
is.
but it's because I. So let's talk a little bit about what you don't like about anime. But before we get into that, let me just quickly tell you that right now I'm on a journey with the homie Average Joe on Air, our radio DJ friend from Canada, where he started watching the original Dragon Ball because he'd never seen it. And then right as he was finishing it, I was like, I'd never seen it either, so fuck it. How about I watch Dragon Ball with you and we'll watch every single movie, the full series from start to end through all of them, and we'll just try to stay at the same space. So we're sort of doing like a book club thing, and we've gone all the way through Dragon Ball and through most of the movies into Z, but he's watching Z and I'm watching Dragon Ball Kai, which is the way better
I'm sorry.
version of Z. Basically, it's way easier to watch. It's like closer to the manga. They've cut it down by hella hours. So, like, he's got 250 episodes to watch, and I only have like 130 or something like that.
Okay, you said Kai. My brain went to GT. So
Oh, no.
disregard.
No, we're not on GT yet. That's the other thing. I also haven't watched GT. And GT is only 64 episodes. So we'll get through it quick. But I'm expecting to not like it. But at least it'll give me context for the game Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Because they've added like characters from every Dragon Ball series in that game, including GT and including the movies, which the movies are like not canon, clearly. Even though in Z they have like a crossover event essentially with Garlic Jr., who's from one of the movies, which wasn't canon, but it sort of canonizes it in Z because they do like a like it's like an arc within the actual anime that didn't happen in the manga. So when you watch Kai, that's all completely cut out, which is really
Yeah.
interesting. I will recommend watching all of Z if you've never seen the full series because it is wacky and it's fun. But like if you've already watched Dragon Ball Z and you're thinking about rewatching it, definitely just watch Dragon Ball Kai. It's like a million times better, easier for sure. So I'm like skipping ahead, way ahead of him, and then we'll get to where the next movie came out, and so I'll watch that and then wait. And so where we're at right now is the Majin Buu saga. So I'm about where you stopped watching essentially.
Okay.
But it's been
Yeah.
a fun experience. Like we didn't watch the Dragon Ball movies, we just been watching the Dragon Ball Z movies, and they're all like
That's
they're kind of all the
that's fair.
same. They're all
Yeah.
kind of the same. It's like goofy shit happens, everyone makes fun of Krillin, a monster comes, they got to fight, and
It's
then they
it's very formulaic.
they
And
beat him, and Piccolo always shows up when Gohan's about to get hurt. It's like a literally
it's
same fucking movie over and over again. Um,
another series like that as well, but it's still very like everybody kind of enjoys them is the Detective Conan series or
oh yeah.
they all those movies are very or sorry, not Detective Conan. Different series. I have actually not watched a single
Oh,
movie of those. I've watched a few episodes here and there, but I've not watched any of the movies. No, I fuck what the fucking show was it? Lupin the
Loop, yeah,
Third.
Loop.
Sorry.
I was trying to remember it
Lupin
too.
the Third. That all of those movies are the same formula ever since the 80s, and it's hilarious. But they're still
Yeah,
good. They're still good
but that is
movies.
the
They're
thing.
still enjoyable.
The DBZ movies are good still. Like the animation is obviously a step up. I don't have access to the dub, so I'm watching the Japanese version, and that's always like fun going from the dub to the Japanese version, where you're just like, man, like the shit that
The
they're saying.
high pitched voice.
Well, yeah, it's all the voices. Obviously, it's like Krillin's voice is the most off-putting for me because like I already know what's up with Goku and Gohan and that voice actress. I know she's a legend. It is weird. I'm more used to my Scott Skimmel or whatever the fuck his name is. Chemel Lemel Clemel. I forget his last name.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's just always funny, and then like also Piccolo just having that like samurai style Japanese voice, really fierce, you know. But then it's
Yeah.
just like what's his name, the same guy who does Vegeta's voice in like every fucking anime,
Yeah.
in English.
I am still very,
Chris
very
Sabat.
bad. Yeah, I am still very, very bad with voice actors' names in the United States, like the English voice
Mm-hmm.
actors. Really, the only one that I can pick out of there's two that I can pick out of a crowd, and that's Steve Bloom
Oh
and
yeah,
excuse me, and Ian Sinclair. Anything
nice.
Ian
Yeah,
Sinclair is in, I will watch. It doesn't matter if
right.
it's the shittiest show on the planet. If
Mm-hmm.
he is in it, I'm watching it because his voice is so iconic and so hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He usually plays the funny comedy relief character, and
Yeah,
for good reason. So yeah, anything that Ian Sinclair is in, for those of you who don't know who he is the narrator in Kaguya-sama. He is Brooks in One Piece,
yeah,
and just
yeah. Well, he's
various
also in
other
Dragon Ball
roles.
Super. He's Geese.
Yeah, like in various
Whis?
different roles. Whis, I believe.
Whis. Yeah, this guy.
Yeah,
This guy right here. I'm picking his nose.
wonderful voice actor.
He's great. He's
And
in everything.
he's great. Yeah, he
Well,
is.
there are common Funimation voice actors that are in a lot of the biggest shows. Obviously, Dragon Ball. Chris Sabat also in all the fucking shows Ian Sinclair's in. And so is a bunch of the same people. The guy who does Krillin's voice is fucking Usopp in One Piece as well. Which is like funny because it's almost the same character. Like he plays the quote unquote pathetic guy. Although Krillin is technically more badass than Usopp, but Usopp definitely has his moments. And yes, I'm caught up on One Piece. Holy shit, what a fucking crazy experience that's been. And now that I'm used to the crew dubbed, I have to watch the new episodes in Japanese. So it's like mixed feelings, but it's also interesting hearing the real
Which is
voices.
another, like, yeah, Luffy is voiced by a female actress, which is again
Same in
Dragon Ball
English.
Z.
Same in English
It,
this way, though.
that's true.
Yeah, it's both
That's true.
women, which I found. I was
But
like, that's cool. I do like that.
it is much different. Like that, I
The
feel like
Dragon
they are
Ball
very different.
different is way different. Yeah, because like,
True.
but I digress. I just I
I
like
think
those
for
Funimation
you,
voice actors.
though, yeah, for you, the voice that'll make the most difference in your opinion of the character for One Piece Japanese dub and English sub, or yeah, whatever, is Frankie. Frankie's going to be an
I
adjustment for you.
agree. I agree. That was the one I
That's
was
going to be
going
an
to say. I was
adjustment
like,
for you.
yeah, Frankie. Like, I mean, I feel like they just pulled any Yakuza into the studio to like.
Oh, dude, no,
It's just like an
they.
old uncle voice. But then
So
in
Frank
fucking the English dub, he's like awesome. He's like
in
fucking
Japan,
cool.
though, like the voice actor for Frankie, I believe he was basically getting old and he's getting very sick and he couldn't do it anymore. So he actually just retired and they hired a new voice actor for Frankie.
Oh, I see.
But again, regardless, still very different voice
Yeah.
comparatively.
Yeah,
Um,
the English one's like, "Hey guys, it's me,
it's a deeper
Frankie,
kind of
dude."
it's kind of like a macho-y, deeper voice, and then in Japanese, it is very much more high pitched and
Yeah.
it's very different.
It
But
really does just sound like someone's uncle.
you're not wrong.
Man, what a good show though. Really, really enjoying these last couple arcs. The animation styles has gotten really like so good. Okay, yeah. So Arturo wants to talk about classic anime, which we will talk about in a sec. But first, let's do the airing of the grievances for anime. We gotta get to it. Frankfurter, you're a big fan, man. You're my go-to guy. You got a
Yeah.
you got an anime podcast. You're obviously very passionate about Japanese, manga,
Animation. Yeah.
animation, storytelling. So what the hell's wrong with it, man?
So Japanese animation and just kind of anime in general, there are some things that are very off-putting to Western audiences because there are very big cultural differences from Japan to the United States, Canada, et cetera, et cetera. One of those being how Japanese men view Japanese women. They are still very, not very, but it is starting to get better.
Yeah,
But
I agree.
It is
sort of.
very like their nation was very sexist and like viewed women as more sexual objects than they do. I mean, granted, the West does too, but to an umpth degree, and the legal, we'll say, consent age is a lot lower. So you get a lot of anime about high school kids, and technically the consent age of those kids is legal in Japan, but it is very much so not legal here in the United States. So a lot of
Mm-mm.
people are like, I don't want to watch shows about high school kids and see all this sexualization of high school kids. And to that, I agree. I think that there are a lot of shows that show it to be sexual, and I do think that there are some shows that show it to just be like, no, that's just the personality of this character. I truly do believe that there are shows like that. Then we can get into that later, but like
Well, okay,
that is a huge.
let's use One Piece as an example. This is the biggest anime in the whole world. Yes, it's been going on for a long time. Yes, it's kind of older, and these characters were established in the past, and they haven't really changed much, except for the normal character growth, right? Of just getting
Right.
stronger, like you do in all of these
Yeah.
type of anime and stuff. But there are two characters in particular that are fucking to do some weird shit. Obviously,
You
our
got
number one is
I mean, you got Brooks and it's Sanji. Those
Sanji.
are the two characters.
Sanji is the number one, right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, he's a perv. His dream was to have the power to become invisible, so he could spy on women in the shower.
Yeah.
Like,
That
literally, there's a
hasn't
whole
aged well.
subplot plot about that. He's obvious.
That hasn't
Every
aged
woman that comes around him, he can't even fucking control himself. Like, he's just, obviously a total womanizer, to a fault. He's like the definition of a simp, but he's also a pervert. And but he's not as bad as Master Roshi from Dragon Ball. That's
Yeah.
really
say
bad. He's
Sanji does have a
fucking
heart
like
of gold.
sicko. That's
Sanji
the
has
thing
a
about
heart of
Sanji.
gold.
Yeah, he does have a heart of
But
gold, and he means well. He just it gets too horny. And then there's Brook, right? Excellent
Brooke,
character.
yeah.
I would say no notes, but his tagline is
Yo, no, it's
that is.
show me your panties.
Can you please show me your panties?
Yeah,
He says it
it's
all the
just-
time.
Yeah, it's problematic, and I get it. The series was created in the 90s. I think Brooks came around like either the late 90s, early 2000s. So it's one of those things like, yes, okay. Somebody fact check me on that. I only read One Piece, started reading One Piece or watching it like a year or two ago. So by all means, fact check me there. I don't know when Brooks actually came into actualization, but it was somewhere in the late 90s, mid 2000s.
Dude.
So again, we were living in that time period where it was still socially acceptable to make that type of character.
Dude, Me Too didn't even happen till like 2015 or some shit, bro. So, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like you think about the 90s, 80s, all that stuff. The aughts, as they call it, the 2000 era was like really bad. Like, a lot of bad fucking sexism happening in that era. A lot of shows, reality shows about like hot chicks, like the Spike TV. Everything is for the male gaze, right? In that era, essentially. Even more so than the 90s. The 90s was like, oh, let's make everything edgy. But then MTV still existed. Partying still existed. The 2000s was like the Paris Hiltons of the world. And like everything was a sex tape. Girls Gone Wild was just a commercial on TV. And there's this big documentary series about like how women were exploited and are like, it's not a good thing, right? Obviously, One Piece is coming out during that time. A lot of things are coming out that are problematic, even during that time and stuff. I'm just saying, like, obviously, there's a problem with stuff like that. And, like, these days, at least, shows are more inclusive. But it seems like with anime, sometimes, that it's just taking a lot longer for that to kind of chill out. I mean, it's getting better, like you said. I agree. There are a lot of shows that aren't just, like, big-tittied women all over the place.
Yeah, but you still have those shows. But I was completely wrong. Brook came, his initial chapter in One Piece when he was introduced was in 2007. So a little later than I thought.
I told you. See?
Yeah. But yeah, no, like shows nowadays, like there are some shows where you're just like, oh, this is very uncomfortable, like just in general for how women are portrayed. But then there are shows where they are portrayed where they are skimpy or whatever. Like the perfect example in my eyes is a show called My Dress Up Darling. It's a show all about cosplay. It's a slice of life comedy series, and I guess it's a rom com.
Mhm.
But basically, a guy who is really into Hina dolls, which are traditional Japanese dolls, uh, meets this girl, like, or goes to the same school as this girl. They run into each other in like the sewing room because she's trying to make cosplay, and his sewing machine broke at home, so he's sewing like the dolls' dresses at school. And they randomly bump into one another, and he sees how horrible she is as being a seamstress, and decides, I will just make your costumes for you. And so there are times where it's just like they're showing kind of costume changes and whatnot. And the costumes that she just so happens to like are from anime or light novels or video games that do portray women in skimpy clothing. So it's like she is a character who likes these characters that just so happen to wear these things, but it's like for me as a viewer reading this, it's like I don't take this in any sort of sexual way because it's just like this is a person enjoying their hobby. I
Yeah.
know that other people will completely disagree with that because they're like, nope, that's just boobs on a teenager or, a high school student. No, you can't convince me otherwise. And I get that. That's fine. You can have that point of view. I'm just saying, as somebody who's consumed a lot of media, knows a lot of background to the Japanese, kind of culture, I don't view it that way. I view it as this character who is this wholesome person who just loves her hobby to that degree.
Mhm.
So
Nice.
again, it is one of those things, like it is a great series in my eyes. I really enjoy it. I know a lot of people that don't enjoy it because of those reasons, but
Yeah.
I think if you can separate the two, it's fine. It's not necessarily anything scandalous.
Right.
So but yeah, and it's got
Yeah,
a
I
lot
mean,
of funny moments to it, and it teaches you a lot about cosplay too, and etiquette
okay.
as going to cons and dealing with cosplayers and taking photos of cosplayers. Like there's a lot more to it than just like skimpy outfit.
Yeah, and I'm not saying there's no room for like people that want
Right.
to, like there should just it shouldn't just be like in every fucking series. Like there should be one I should be able to watch like I swear every series I watch, dude. Every one I put on there's just like a moment where it's like a camera angle they chose. I'm like, "Oh, I'm just staring at this girl's ass now." You know?
Yeah.
And that
I
was
think
deliberate direction, you know.
yeah,
I'm just saying like it's like
yeah.
everything. And so like I understand why it's a turn like anime can be a turn off to women for that reason, women and girls like, but I mean there are shows that aren't for the male gaze at all. Like there's shows geared toward girls. There's like the show you were or
Oh yeah.
the manga you were just talking about. Uh which one was it? The slice of life one with the girls? I don't know. You just told me. It was one of the ones. That one I don't think like there's any sicko shit happening in that one, right?
Oh, you mean the Witch Hat Atelier?
No, the other one.
Oh, I don't know. I said
Anyway,
Berserk, Witch Hat Atelier, My Dress Up Darling. I don't even remember what else I suggested.
well, like Sailor
Akane
Moon,
Banashi.
that was the one, that Kame
No,
one. Is that
Sailor
what?
Moon is still weird in my opinion. You have these characters who are literally 14 years old, going through
Yeah, but
transformations with very skimpy outfits. Like that one, still in my eyes, like
no, I'm
they're
just saying
14. That
it's
is
still it
still
was
weird.
created by a woman for
It was,
girls, and
for
girls
women's
liked it.
audience because it's a magical
It was
girl
for
series.
that's what I'm saying is like there are
Yeah,
things out there that were made intentionally not
like
for men and boys.
if you
Is my
want to
point.
break it down, yeah, if you want to break it down, then you go into the genres, like the four
Yeah.
subgenres of anime slash manga, which
Okay.
is
Go through it.
shonen, which is for young boys, like for just boys, kind of like adolescents.
Mhm.
Seinen, which is for older boys slash young adults, young men, so like 18 plus. That's
Mhm.
going to be your Berserks of the world, your Vinland Sagas,
Yeah, the
shows of
bloody
that nature.
stuff.
Correct. And then you have shoujo, which is for younger girls, which is what a Sailor Moon would be akin to,
Mhm.
where it is definitely. demographic is younger girls, like in that kind of 10 to 16 age range. And then after shoujo, God, I forgot what the actual word for it is, but they have a genre for after shoujo for young women, young adult
Oh,
women. So like they do have those genres, they do exist. There are series that fit into these categories.
yeah,
So and most of what we've talked about is in the shonen category.
right. But I mean,
So
shonen is the biggest category of anime, right?
yeah,
Like that's the most
it is
popular.
correct.
That's gonna be your Dragon Balls. That's gonna be
Thank you,
your One
Arturo. It is
Pieces.
Jose. Jose is the term I could not think of.
Jose and the
Yes, that
Pussycats.
is sure. But yes, that is for adult women. That is the category I cannot think of.
I've never heard of Jose before. Let's see. Oh, I see now. It's like romance.
It is romance for adults, but it is like
Got it.
when you think of like book talk girls and like book club girls where they're reading their smutty books, that's what this category is essentially.
Arturo in the chat said, "Full disclosure, I googled that."
Thank you, I appreciate it, but yeah, I couldn't think of the term off the top of my head, but that is the category.
I don't wanna upstage my guest, so I'm just asking him. And hopefully he can give me the answer. That's why
Hey, I got
Google
3
it.
out of 4. I just
You're doing great,
whatever.
man. You are the master. You are the
You're doing great, man. It's
You're doing
fine.
great.
You're doing fine.
So I mean that's about
Anyways.
it. Like what else don't you like about anime? I know there's a very specific thing that you don't like that I always like to poke fun at.
You're gonna have to remind me what it is because I'm blanking at this point.
Tournament arcs.
Oh fuck. Okay, yeah, no. So let's briefly let's briefly talk about this because this can go sideways very fast. I hate tournament arcs. There are occasions where tournament arcs are good. Majority of tournament arcs are fucking horrendous. Most of shonen tournament arcs are horrendous. The only good shonen tournament arc that I can think of off the top of my head is Hunter x Hunter. Why? Because they realize that the character is overpowered. They realize that the character that they're fighting is underpowered. Cool. We're going to blast through this fucking tournament. It's going to last 6 episodes. We're done. Like, as much as I do enjoy Yu Yu Hakusho, which I really enjoy the series, I think overall as a whole, it's a wonderful series. Black Rose Tournament can suck a dick. I do not like it. It lasts entirely way too long, and it is a legitimate third of the entire TV series. I do not like the Black Rose Tournament arc. It is entirely way too drawn out. Nothing can convince me otherwise. I don't. Also, on the topic of your shows that you're watching, Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball, those tournaments can lick a chode.
Fuck you, they're the best. Tournament arcs
No,
rule.
they're not.
You just don't give a fuck about action, which I'm realizing, and that's fine. You're just not an action guy. All right?
No, I am an action guy.
We were talking about how you didn't finish Dragon Ball Super. Guess what? At least 1/3 of all of Dragon Ball Super is tournament arcs. That's why you stopped watching it.
Yeah, I watched the part that, or I did not watch the part I did not enjoy. I fell off because it went to a. And to be fair,
the entire end of it is just a tournament arc.
To be fair, I gave it a chance. I got to the point where they were in the first. Yeah, I got through the first round where it was just the fucking battle royale. Did not enjoy it. Just did not enjoy it, and so I stopped watching. Tournament arcs are entirely too boring. They're very predictable because you know the hero is going to win or someone adjacent to the hero is going to win.
These are L takes.
Yeah, sure. Go for it. Tournament arcs are the butt cheeks of the anime industry. Like, I do not like them.
You don't like butt? You don't like butt cheeks?
No, I enjoy butt cheeks, but I don't enjoy what comes out of the butt cheeks, and that is a big piece of stinky turd.
Come on, that's taking it too far.
And that is what tournament arcs are.
No,
no. You cannot convince me. Hunter x Hunter is the only shonen one that I enjoy. The only thing that
I can't convince. I know I can't convince you, but I'm going to say no.
Tournament arcs that are
I disagree.
The only tournament arcs that are worth their salt are the tournament arcs that disguise themselves by having like different shticks to them.
So just not a tournament arc. You just don't want to watch any tournament arcs.
I will
Just
say
say
to
it.
its credit, no, to its credit, My Hero Academia's tournament arc in the first season. I'm not going to talk about fifth season. Fifth season's a piece of shit. The first season where they are doing the year one tournament arc, where they
Yeah.
have different stages, they keep it interesting. It's not just I'm going to fight you, you're going
Yeah,
to
but
fight
that's not
me.
a tournament
Yada yada
arc.
yada.
That's more of a it's
That
a
is
test.
the definition of a
It's
fucking
a test.
tournament arc.
It's just a
No.
test. They're doing
no.
tests.
It's a tournament, buddy.
No, it's a test.
Tournament.
It's a
No,
test.
it's not.
It's different. But point is, you just don't like them.
I don't. I think that they're a piece of shit.
You don't have to like them. You could just be real. Be like, you know what? I fucking hate them. I think they're stupid, and I don't want to watch them.
And here's the thing: if you're like, oh, you didn't watch it, it's like, no, I've tried. I've watched all of the Dark Rose tournament or Black Rose tournament for Yu Yu Hakusho. I've watched all of season 5 of fucking My Hero Academia, which god awful piece of shit. I've watched almost a majority of Dragon Ball Z. I got up to the Majin Buu, so yeah, I've gotten through all of those. I've gotten through all the.
Well, that's not a tournament.
I've gotten through all the tournaments with fucking Satan in them. Yeah, those suck balls, dude.
Those are hilarious.
They're awful.
They're really funny. You just have fun with it. Do you play fighting video games?
No, I'm awful at them.
You probably don't like them either. It's like the same thing.
I'm awful at them. Yeah, like I think the last proper fighting game I've tried was Mortal Kombat 10.
I think what we're learning here is that you're a lover, you're not a fighter. And that's good. I like to see that.
I still like my action shows. You can have an action show without a tournament arc. Like Fire Force, for example, is a great action show. Windbreaker, which is airing right now, is a great action show.
Should I check it out? What's that on?
That's on Crunchyroll as well.
Oh,
I didn't think I would. I didn't think I would like it. It's wonderful. But like again, those are only 2 examples. I would have to look.
I still gotta watch Lazarus, dude. Gotta start that.
Lazarus is good. I do have my nitpick critique for Lazarus, but overall it is a good show.
Nice. Do you feel like you like it more than Samurai Champloo or less than Samurai Champloo?
Probably a little less.
Okay.
Because Samurai Champloo does have a loose baseline. It's, hey, we need to find the samurai that smells like sunflowers.
Yeah.
Lazarus has a definite through line, but it doesn't have as much. Like my critique here, with no spoilers, it doesn't have as much of the fun side interactions between characters. There are a handful, but it's taken 6 episodes to get to that point.
Yeah, that's kind of a long drag.
And while I know that Lazarus is only going to be 12 or 13 episodes, you had 26 for Cowboy Bebop, you had, I think, 26 for Samurai Champloo, you had the time to do all those side character interactions. Right. I think that, you can still do that in 12 episodes and still do it well. But when they have done it, it's been good, but it's been far and few between, and I really wish we would get more of that. Mm-hmm. So... Awesome. Lazarus is going to bring back anime from the dead. No, it's not.
Well, I'm going to check it out. From what I've heard from the music, it sounds cool, so should be a good time.
Music's good too. Just don't pay too close attention to the intro song. That's all I'll say.
Would you say there's anything complicated about being an anime fan, or anything crazy?
The only complicated thing is there is a bunch of weird Japanese culture that if you really want to truly enjoy anime, you have to learn first, but B, you also have to tolerate. And I think getting over that toleration hurdle is a big one for a lot of casual people, or a lot of people in general, who are like, hey, I hear a lot about anime and how good it is. What should I watch? It's like, okay, well, recommend something that doesn't have this, isn't too weird in that. Okay. And you're left with 3 shows. So it's just one of those things of just there is a bunch of stuff you have to kind of jump through hurdles and kind of be accepting of in order to really enjoy a lot of it. But there are because even Dragon Ball Z, you have your Master Roshi, which you have to get over. Yeah. You have the long drawn out battles of where you legitimately get an episode of somebody screaming the entire episode, and that's the whole entire episode.
Yeah, this is why Kai is way better to watch. Just saying.
So it's just it's despite whatever it is you want to suggest, there is no perfect show to suggest to somebody, because there is some sort of weird Japanese culture thing thrown in there, or filler thrown in there, that is kind of harder for casual people who are trying to get into it. It's from another country. it's just one of those things. Like either you get with their country and what they're trying to do, and you understand where they're coming from,
Mhm.
or you just don't. And it's as easy as that. And I think that there are a lot of people out there who don't like it for the art style, which is fine. Completely understand that.
Mhm.
Can't get past that hurdle. That's a okay. But I know that there are other people that are just like it's too weird. It's too sexual. And it's just like, yeah, no, completely valid
Yeah,
criticisms. Completely understand.
totally.
Not going to fault you for that. But if you can understand the culture and how there are different culture, they are a very different culture, and learning that you'll enjoy a bunch of shows here and there.
Anime will
And
make you
again,
hungry though.
yeah, it will. There are plenty of shows out there that like you can recommend to people where so before this our recording here, I recorded a review episode with our podcast, which will come out sometime in June. We
Mhm.
recorded a review about Erased. It is 100% a great show. I would give it a 9.25 out of 10. It is
Very
a
good show.
wonderful, phenomenal show. Not something I'm going to recommend to everybody. There are a lot of mature themes into that,
Heavy
and it
topic.
will give heavy topics that will give people specifically who have gone through said heavy topics a lot of PTSD. And it's just one of those things. Know your audience of what you're suggesting to people, and
Mhm.
before you suggest it. But there are still a handful of blanket, things that I will recommend. There are 3 shows off the bat. Cowboy Bebop, highly recommend it because
Same.
again, loose plot line, loose through line, very fun. Like it's a very fun episodic show. You don't have to pay super attention if you don't want to, but it is something that I would definitely watch and recommend. It is a blanket recommend. Another recent show that I recommend it. It's not the greatest as it keeps going, but it is still very solid overall, and that is Spy Family. Spy Family is akin to a more Western show
Mhm.
that is easier to get through, and a lot less weird things. There is a bit of Japanese comedy in there that you may go whoop, but
Yeah.
um, I think that for the most part, Spy Family is a wonderful show to suggest. And then
That was a good
the last,
I saw the first episode of that and I was like,
yeah,
this is good.
yeah, no, 100%. And it is a overall, it is a good show. It's not a great show. I would say that it kind of loses some of its luster throughout the near the end of season 1 and then through season 2.
Hmm.
There are good arcs, but it is very casual slice of life at times where you want the action. I will say,
Hmm.
if you enjoy like the first half of season 1, go watch the movie. The movie, I wish the show followed footprint like steps of the movie. The movie is absolutely wonderful.
Sweet.
It's great. That is also available on Crunchyroll. But the
Hell yeah.
last show that I would actually blanket recommend that I think is great because it is not necessarily that it's Western coded, but the sense that it is more easy to digest for Western audiences, because it is kind of a mystery who done it action show that just revolves around not Japan, just every kind of like the world, but mostly Japan. But outside of Japan, there is a bunch of stuff to it, and
Mhm.
that show is called Pluto, and that is on
Oh,
Netflix.
yeah. I've heard about this.
It is it is in my book a 10 out of 10 show. The animation is absolutely incredible. The music
Mhm.
is okay. Animation's great. Voice acting's great, story is great, just the execution and pacing of all of that is phenomenal. It is a 10 out of 10 show for me. You're like, oh, I don't know if I want to watch, a show about a kid. It's a fucking robot, okay? And
Yeah.
he doesn't even come into play until like episode 3, so don't
Well,
worry about it.
isn't it like Astro Boy or something?
It is based in the world of Astro Boy, but not based off of Astro Boy.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
it's yeah, it's in the same world. So
Sweet.
it is like 8 episodes. They're about 45 minutes each. It's 8 or 10. It's
Mhm.
a wonderful, wonderful show. It's a murder mystery type show.
Hmm.
Cannot suggest it highly enough. It's a 10 out of 10 in my book.
I got to watch that
So,
next. And then
yeah, it's great.
I'll definitely suggest Delicious in Dungeon. I did suggest it already before. I have to reiterate it. It's a Netflix show. It's very fucking good, and that'll also make
Yeah,
you hungry. Watch it if you like fantasy stuff.
yeah. Delicious in Dungeon and Free Run are 2 shows that
Free Run's really good too.
have recently come out that are also very recommendable to newer audiences, in my opinion.
Also,
But
Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam, Iron
I'll
Blooded Orphans.
I'll never recommend a Gundam to anybody.
Iron Blooded
That's just
Orphans.
oh, I know it's great, but there's still a
It's
lot of
very
weird
good.
in that you're just like, not a lot
Well,
of weird, but
that's.
there's still some weird in there that you're just like,
I feel like that
I
is
could
fine.
see.
I'd be like, you want an anime to watch? Iron Blooded Orphans. Watch that shit. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, it is 50 episodes though, so good luck with that. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, it is a good show, but
50
it's
episodes
again,
of fun.
I will never recommend a Gundam. I will never like I've watched Iron Blooded Orphans. I've not watched a lot of original Gundam, but I've watched Iron Blooded Orphans and it's great. I think it's a wonderful show. I will not suggest it because I know that suggesting a quote unquote Gundam, because Gundam is one of those series that casual people who don't know much about anime know about Gundam.
Yeah.
And to just throw them into that, I can't
No,
do
well,
that with in good conscience.
Iron Blooded Orphans is
I
not
know it's
even
a one-off.
it's a one-off show.
It's,
There's multiple one-off shows, and it's the easiest, most digestible, I believe. It makes sense. You just watch it.
I think
It's not hard
Witch
to
from
understand.
Mercury. Well, no,
No, because that one's like high
no,
concept. It's like weird. That one's. I'm just saying, Iron Blooded Orphans. It's like there's kids and they're soldiers of war and they're just fighting for their fucking freedom. It's not that hard to understand, and it's a great story. Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood, also great fucking show. I tell everyone to watch that. I wouldn't
Yep.
recommend Attack on Titan. You guys were talking about this
No.
earlier on your other podcast. I would not recommend Attack on Titan to everyone because that is just a straight up horror show. And some people aren't into horror.
At this point, like it's a casual take, but I know that there are a lot of diehard Attack on Titan fans. But for me, casual take, season 4 ruined the entirety of Attack on Titan, in my opinion.
Yeah, agreed.
I think that the pacing issues that it faced and some of the plot elements that they introduced very late were awful decisions, and I think that it ruined the entirety of the series for me. Like I still think that season 3 is one of the best pieces of television, like single seasons of television you can ever watch.
Yep.
But season 4
ruins it.
And it's not even the how it ends. It's not even how the show ends, because I actually do enjoy the ending. I think that the ending is well thought out. But I think that the pacing to get there and some of the fucking plot elements that they do and character relationships that they introduce super late are horrendous.
Yeah.
So it's just it's bad. It's a cold take, but some people will think it's hot. Arturo has brought up a lot of older shows that I do want to address as well.
We'll rattle them off because we don't have a lot more time, but yeah.
Right, but just to he was like, oh, I recommend this. Ghost in the Shell, all of it. I would recommend watching the movie just to see
the movie.
I would watch the Ghost in the Shell movie, not the Scarlett Johansson movie, but the original animated, not the original animated movie. I would suggest it to just purely the same reason why I would suggest Akira. And another semi-hot take here: Akira is not aged well, but Ghost in the Shell, the movie, and Akira are very highly influential to the sci-fi genre as a whole and to cinema as a whole, based off their action scenes. And I would suggest it to watch it just purely for that aspect. I think
it's like history. We watched it. We watched it like back in the day, me and Arturo. So there's always going to be that level of nostalgia. I still am captivated by Akira. I still think it's great. But I mean, compared to like some modern things, I can understand why saying it doesn't age well makes sense. It's just, I don't know. There's just like a level of quality that, that movie represents from that time period that I'll always romanticize. And plus it's just an iconic movie. So like, but that's just all opinion shit.
Again, movie's great. I would not recommend the TV show. I tried watching the TV show and it's like the animation is 3D, like it's fucking Ghost in the Shell SAC, and I forget what SAC stands for.
Standalone complex.
Thank you. I did not enjoy it. I could not get through it. The animation, the 3D animation was just too much for me. It was a little too early to fully go 3D, and I didn't enjoy it. But he also suggests Captain Harlock, which I have not watched.
That's
so
old
I can't
school.
Talk about it.
That's like 80s.
Yeah, that is way older.
Yeah.
You old fuck, Arturo. Love you.
Trigun.
But then Trigun. So
Trigun's still good.
Here's the interesting thing about Trigun. I watched Trigun for the first time 3 years. With no rose-tinted glasses, it's a solid 7 out of 10. It's good, it's not great. It's fine. It's somewhere in between the good and fine. It's fun, but it's not like things haven't aged well. The animation's still good, but not great.
Well, it's old school.
Yeah, again, it's old school. There are things about it that have aged well. There are things that have not aged well in the original Trigun, and without the rose-tinted glasses, it's a solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah, but 7 out of 10s are still fun.
Exactly. In the video game world, 7 out of 10s are great.
Yeah.
However,
same with anime.
Trigun Stampede, which came out a couple of years ago, which you keep flipping back between the two of them.
I'm trying to find a picture of the OG before I flip to the new one. All right?
Fair enough.
Google Images sucks.
Trigun Stampede, which is done by Studio Orange, is absolutely wonderful. I think that this is a solid 9 out of 10 show. Like, I know that a lot of people are like, well, where are my characters from the original Trigun? It's like, hold off, buddy. The original, like, when you want to talk about Trigun as a whole series, we had a first season that wasn't included in the original Trigun, and that was Trigun Stampede. And then we get to the characters that we all know and love. I thoroughly loved Trigun Stampede. I know a lot of people can't get past the full 3D image, anime. I think that it is the best 3D animated show out there. 100% will say it with my chest.
Nice.
I think that the animation's great, voice acting's great, story is great, everything about it is wonderful.
Yeah,
I think that
list.
it is a very good complete package TV show. So highly recommend it.
Sweet.
If you haven't watched the original Trigun, I would still recommend watching both and making your own opinion. But like, just take out of your brain all of the fanfare and love for the original and just go in with a blank mind thinking like, okay, how is this as a show that stands up today? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it just form your own opinion?
Yeah, I'm sure I'll enjoy it. I don't like to limit things that I like, if it's good, it's good, dude. Simple as that.
Yeah. He keeps talking about Re-Zaphon, which
all right, this is the last one I'm going to bring up that you're mentioning, and then I'm going to rattle off a couple, and then we got to get out of here.
Yeah. It looks like an older mecha, early 2000s mecha show.
Yeah, cool.
Sure. I've never heard of it. It's fine.
All right.
Great. It's on Prime if you want to watch it, apparently. It's on High Dive. It's on High Dive.
Oh, I can't watch it. Sorry. I don't do that.
So,
I don't do High Dive.
You can do a 7-day free trial of High Dive and binge it, but
do not suggest that.
Okay, I won't suggest you getting a free 7-day trial of High Dive to binge watch this plus other TV shows that are absolutely wonderful on High Dive.
No.
All right.
I said no. I have Crunchyroll and that's it. You get one.
Sir.
You get one. Other old anime. You got Outlaw Star, classic. You got fucking Vampire Hunter D
or Outlaw Star.
I said Outlaw Star.
Okay, the Outlaw came out. It did not come out through my headphones. So.
Oh, sorry. Let me back away from my mic. Maybe it's clipping. You got Outlaw Star.
That's all good. Yep.
You got Slayers. That's old school anime.
Yeah, they are actually, fun fact, they are reprinting the manga for Slayers. They're doing it in a omnibus. That's what they're called.
Oh,
it's
nice.
3 volumes in one, so they're thick volumes. You get 3 books in one book.
I got that first volume of One Piece omnibus. So yeah,
nice
manga.
Yeah, when did Drifters come out? It was what, 2006?
I don't know. I just remember Slayer from the 80s.
Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of Drifters. Hold on.
I'm talking about Slayer.
Oh,
it's like a magician girl.
Nope, never mind. I have not watched this.
It's from the 80s. I told you old. I'm talking 80s, 90s anime, dude. Fucking what's the one? X. It's that one anime movie that was like brutal as fuck. You had what else?
you had me. I think I watched this on YouTube within the last year.
Vampire Hunter D.
It was wild.
Yeah, X
that's
is wild
actually
too.
So real quick, Vampire Hunter D. It's its 40th anniversary this year. It came back to theaters for 2 nights only earlier this year. It will be starting to stream on High Dive at the end of the month. So if you have not watched it and you do not want to pay $80 for a Blu-ray, you can watch it on the High Dive.
What else? Escaflowne was talked about. I think that's quite a bit
I
older.
have it on DVD. I have not watched it.
Maybe like 2000.
It was mid 2000s, early 2000s.
Of the older movies we watched back in the day, don't forget about Ninja Scroll. That was another classic.
Yep.
Fuck. What else?
Okay.
What else? What other old Atenchi Muyo? I remember that coming around. That was kind of a weird show.
1996
Inuyasha,
Visions
another
of
show.
Escaflowne. Yep, watched all of Inuyasha somewhat recently. Very problematic. A
Very.
lot of gaslighting in that show.
A lot of gaslighting.
So
Yeah.
that was fun. Golgo 13. I've only heard of. Haven't watched
Ranma
or read any
1/2.
of it.
Yeah, that's another classic.
The remake for Ranma 1/2 is absolutely wonderful. I would highly suggest watching.
Oh yeah, I want to check that out.
It is fantastic. It's much better paced than the original. I love the new trend of bringing older shows and giving it a new set of paint. So Ranma 1/2, Yatsura Sumi, I think is what it's on High Dive. It's the one with the girl with the tiger bikini. Essentially, is all you need to know.
Yeah,
that show, they've put a new coat of paint on that. It's wonderful. And then this season on Netflix, there is a show called Yaiba, Legend of the Sword, something like that.
That sounds familiar.
It's on Netflix.
Yaiba Samurai Legend.
Yes, wonderful. Absolutely. It's another 80s show that they put a new coat of paint on. I've been enjoying the ever-living heck out of it.
And don't forget 2 other ones, of course. Shout outs to Neo Aoshi, who was on our first episode. Can't forget about Shin-Chan, one of the longest running anime in the whole world. And then, of course, Detective Conan, which I believe is still going as well.
Yes, it is a weekly series, if I'm not mistaken, on Viz Media. If you want more shoujo and kind of romance stuff, don't get a Shonen Jump subscription. Get a Viz Media subscription. They have their own separate app, and they have a lot of romance stuff on there. And I think it's $1 more, so instead of $2.99, it's $3.99 a month.
Nice. Well, that's awesome, man. So
fun fact for you there.
Anime. There's so much to talk about with anime.
Yeah, we didn't even get to the fact that I didn't talk about the whole anime community as a whole and suggestions I would give, but it's fine. We do need to wrap up because it is almost.
Let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up with you saying, like, if you're talking to an anime fan out there, what would your advice to them be? And then after that, to the new person who may be interested in it, what advice do you have for them?
To the old head that's watching it, don't be a gatekeeper, but also get out of your comfort zone. Don't be the person who just watches the big three, like Dragon Ball Z, Bleach, One Piece, just all the big shows. Get out of your comfort zone. Watch a slice of life. Watch something else that is highly regarded and go into it with an open mind. Don't go into it being like, I'm going to watch this romance show and I'm going to hate it because it's a romance show. Go into it with an open mind. Be vulnerable. Be, try and see it from a lens of somebody else, whether it be your own or somebody else's. Just be cool. Just go into things with an open mind rather than being like, I'm going to hate this because it fits into this box and I only want this box. Like, try different things. Don't be a one genre person. And then for newer people, again, very similar message. Be very open about it. Learn about Japanese culture if you're wondering why they're doing things differently compared to Western, animation, or why does this look icky, or why does this, like, what is going on here? Do a little bit of research during, before, after, etc. Because Japan is a very different culture. So I would say go into it with an open mind, and if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask them, because there are people who will troll you, but there are a lot of genuine people out there that will give you good advice and give you good starting places for what you like. Because as we've done as a podcast, we've done this panel a handful of times at different cons, there is an anime out there for everybody. You just got to find it, or be open and honest about what you like and be willing to take suggestions. So, yeah, that
Nice.
would be my advice.
Awesome. Yeah, just don't be condescending to people, no matter
Yeah,
what fandom you're a part
don't
of.
gatekeep. Don't gatekeep. Be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you only watch this?" It's like, no, great. They're still an anime fan.
Yeah.
I would still suggest that they get out of their comfort zone and watch something else, but like what you like. Great. That's fine.
Yeah,
But
you're
if you can't shit on people for liking other things, just as long as you try it and you know you don't like it, just be like, "Hey, I don't like it." Great. Move
yeah.
on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like just like with music. Like, hey, listen to this song. You don't like it, be like, well, it's not for me, but
Yeah.
at least I tried it,
Don't
right?
At the end of the day, don't yuck somebody's yum.
Yeah. That's the point of WYBNOO, because we nerd out here. I don't talk shit about the person, not the whole time. Only when they
I
have
only
L
talk
ass takes.
I only talk shit about tournament arcs.
Great. So this is the part where I'm gonna get you out of here, but not before you tell the people where you're at, what you're doing, where they can find you.
Yeah, we
All
will
that fun
definitely
shit.
do. We'll definitely have to do a part 2 because there's a lot that we never didn't get to. But you
Sure.
can find me on my podcast. Essentially, is where really I'm active anywhere. At Bakako Podcast or at Bakako Pod. Yeah, no, at Bakako Podcast. God damn it, dude, it's late. My brain is fried.
Sorry, buddy.
You can no, you're fine. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, etc. At Bakako Podcasts, pretty much everywhere. So follow us there. I'm usually pretty. I mean, we're posting weekly episodes. We post short form content nearly every single day, whether it be photos, reels, etc. So we're posting things pretty constantly. So if you're wanting more than just a weekly show, hour long show or 30-minute long show, there's more for you there. So that's where you can find me. And if you want to at me for not liking tournament arcs, you're just fucking yelling into the wind because I'm not going to listen to you.
You can find him at Frankfurter for those complaints as well.
That too, with 2 T's, F-U-R-T-T-E-R, because I don't know how to spell.
Awesome. Well, I'm sure Frankfurter was taken.
Oh, I didn't even try. I just thought that's how you spelled Frankfurter.
I'm
just dumb.
I should just start calling you Double T, huh?
Yeah, double T, sure.
What's up? All right. Double
Frank
T.
double T.
Frank the Double T Furter. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode 2. It's another long
Thank
one,
you.
people, but hey, anime is a big topic. We'll obviously have you back, and we'll get more into the nitty gritty. But hey, I hope you found this informative, helpful. I got a lot of show recommendations if you are interested. Make sure to comment below. Do you like anime? Do you like manga? Do you collect it? Do you hate it? Do you hate tournament arcs as well? Whatever it is you have to say, comment below. Don't forget to check out Frankfurter and Bakako Podcast all over the internet. And then don't forget, you're on Neon Pocket Dimension, the home for nerdy things. Check out our other podcasts and things we do here. Also, don't forget about Neon Gaming Dimension for all our gaming stuff, and On Valley Studios for all our comedy and drinking shenanigans. You can check that all out in the description below as well. There's a link tree. But hey, just don't forget Frankfurter over there. OM Jesus over here. This has been episode 2 of WYBNOO. Make sure to show our guests some love on the internet. Frankfurter, say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, yo! Show me your panties.